All right, Shalom. Shalom, this is Har one by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahawah, by Hashem Havashai, by Hashem, Harakak Wadash, Ma'amaf. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwati, my children, that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is a World War III prophetic update as things are moving fast. And seemingly in the background. All right. All you seeing in the media right now is Nolan Wells, the Nolan Wells case. A lot of entertainment being pushed in our face with the algorithms, right? A lot of racism pushing through the algorithms. You know, situations where they call them Karens, but about the war, it's become faint in the distance. You got to kind of scroll through. You got to do research to find out what's really going on over there. All right, compared to when this war uh, kicked off a few months ago, before they had their little treaty peace, fragile peace treaty. They it was temporary. You know, you had everything all over the news. They were showing off big guns. You know, the U.S. got involved. Scriptures say the least among them shall draw them out, and they was showing both were showing off their powers, to attack each other. Iran as well, but now you barely see it in the news. You got to do research, and you don't know which one's AI, which one's legit. You're hearing about bases getting destroyed over there, U.S. bases in Kuwait. That's prophetic in the book of Nahum. All right, all that strongholds is going to fall over there. um, I think it's Joel where it says, "He shall send afar off the northern army." Right, with their hinder part towards the upmost, towards the EC, and and they be headed towards the utmost sea, basically going in the direction of the Caspian Sea over there by Iran and the Black Sea. So it shows you that this was their plan, this was their direction of war, which is going to has led to the war of Armageddon, and now other nations are getting involved in this war. They try to contain it, try to call a peace treaty, and the Lord said, no, as soon as they say peace, then sudden destruction coming. So that's what's coming. And that's all we've seen for the past few weeks, or hearing about, is destruction over there. And in Ukraine and amongst Russia. And now with Saudi Arabia, which is protected by a nuclear treaty with, I think, Pakistan. If they get attacked, you attack all. You attack one, you attack all. Same thing with NATO. The Ukraine is trying to get NATO involved and Europe involved. So what better way to get them involved than to start World War III, by attacking Iran? If multiple nations get involved, then it's considered World War III. All right. World War I is already passed. World War II, and now this is World War III, the final war, the Most High's judgment, of which He would use to render His judgment upon the wicked and bring judgment to the earth with fire. All right, which is the second death. So it says here, from Ukraine to the Middle East, is this World War III? Conflicts are spreading across the globe now, right? From Ukraine to Gaza, Iran, Lebanon. And you had the Houthis just attack Saudi Arabia, and they're backed by Iran. All right. And which could draw out Pakistan to use nukes against Iran to protect its a treaty with Saudi Arabia. And they said that Iran struck one of the biggest oil fields or containment units or whatever over in Saudi Arabia. And then um, Zelensky got involved and they attacked the Iranian ships, and they allegedly unalived a couple people or one person and injured another. So now this thing is spreading. Um, so Zelensky's excuse was saying that Iran allegedly was being backed by Russia, which we know according to Ezekiel 38 that's going to happen. In attacking Ukraine. So Ukraine said, hey, they using Iran to spy, and they and vice versa. Iran is using Russia to spy and attack those U.S. bases. All right. Conflicts are spreading across the globe from Ukraine to Gaza, Iran, and Lebanon, with global trade under strain and major powers increasingly involved. Starting to get involved, man, and the global trade is under strain right now. Which that's why we see high prices at the gas pumps. Are we heading towards World War III? All right. So I'm gonna go back here real quick. It says this is from the Metro. Iran vows revenge on freeloading Zelensky. Ukraine in World War III threat to drag Europe into the war. See man, see, they're trying to drag Europe into the war. Now look, they're trying to drag the dragon into the war. Hold on, where does it say? This is Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahawah that he have taken against Edom, right? Those Europeans, and his purposes that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman, originally those Germans. They've been scattered everywhere over Ukraine, um, what they call Israel today, over in Europe. All right, Temanites. Surely the least of the flock, so the least of those Edomite nations, shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them, man. So wherever they're at, their habitations are going to become desolate, according to the judgment of the Most High. But he said, what? The least among them, the least of the flock, of their flock, is going to draw them out. All right, Satan divided against Satan. Now they're trying to draw Europe into the fight, and the U.S. into the fight. You hit one, you hit all. Just like Israel has drawn the U.S. into the fight with Iran. All right, so there you go. It says Ukraine launched a strike on an Iranian tanker in an attack that threatens to drag Europe into the Middle East conflict. See, the least among them should draw them up. Ukrainian President of Vladimir, like a damn vampire, Vladimir Zelensky hailed strikes against sanctioned ships transporting military cargo between Iran and Russia in the Caspian Sea on Saturday. The same direction the scriptures say that it should draw far off the northern army, and they're heading in that direction towards the Caspian Sea. They want to conquer that area of Iran, of Russia. A blatant UN charter violation. Damn, they violate. Done at Israel's behest to damn, at Israel's behest to drag Europe into its war, and calls with the EU High Rep Kallis and Foreign Minister Lavrov made clear that what the freeloader in Kiev did cannot go unanswered. So they're going to respond. Damn, Tehran and Kiev are just 1,200 miles apart, well within range of ballistic missiles, which both countries own, sparking fears of the wars merging, effectively creating the conditions for World War III. This could be it. This could be effectively creating the conditions for World War III. And that's where we're at. That's why the scriptures say this right here. Hold on. There you go. All right. That's why it says creating the conditions for World War III, man. That means the trumpets are being blown in the heavens. Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See how we hearing about it? Through the unicorn, through the internet, and YouTube and all over different social media sites. What they call the news. So we're hearing of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, right? We're not supposed to be in anxiety or worry or stressed out about it. All right. We're supposed to be moving in patience and in a sound mind and clarity and getting closer to the Lord in these times. For all these things must come to pass. See, the buildup has to happen. But the end is not yet. See, the end is still not happening yet, because what major prophecies got to happen before those missiles get shot off here in Babylon? Before they start shooting those ICBMs, according to prophecy, at this place, turn it into a lake of fire. Until before that, the MOTB has to be pushed. Other prophecies, Jacob's trouble, martial law, and all this could happen in the midst of war. So when the war kicks off, it's going to be missiles flying, but this place not going to be turned to a lake of fire to that final moment. All right. But they're going to have some back and forth. For nation shall rise against nation. So now they're rising up. And now Ukraine is rising up against Iran. The Houthis, Iran is rising up against Saudi Arabia. All right, I think something happened with India as well. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, right? U.S. against Russia, Russia against the U.S., Europe, etc., etc. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, in different places, man. Earthquakes from what? Just from missiles dropping, from weather changes all over the earth, natural earthquakes as signs. It's going to be famines from the economic downturn they were just talking about, the global trade slowing up. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, so this the beginning of it. So he said, but the end is not yet. All right. So the Lord saying, don't be troubled, but this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the Lord's prophecies to come to pass. Because of this right here, it says, let's go. I'm gonna go here. Matter of fact, let's go to it. All right, here you go. I'm gonna go to Habakkuk 2 real quick. Because we know it's a promise from the Lord to bring this to pass. Habakkuk 2 and 2. And Yahawah answered me and said, write the vision. So the vision has been written, right, that the Lord told to his prophets, and make it plain upon tables. All right, he had to put in no cryptic slang or nothing like that. It's just in prophecy and basic scripture, so simple a baby can understand it. Something called what? The truth. All right. Except when the Lord spoke in mysteries and allegories. All right. And make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Right. So the message don't get distorted. When one person get the message, you make it plain to that person, the truth, and then that individual passes the message on publicly and teaching, echoing each other, the truth. So not like here in Babylon, when you tell one message, by the time it get to the 10th person, the message changed. Stories change over time. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. See, so that prophecy supposed to be clear and true, and told in the truth, spoken in the truth, all the way until the vision comes to pass. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. At the end, you're going to know that this was not a lie, right? Because the prophecy is going to back up what we're speaking. Though it tarry, wait for it. Though what tarry? The end. WW3. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, man. All right, we got to remember that. We go here. What's not going to tarry? This right here, Revelation 16 and 13. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of England, out of Europe, and out of the mouth of the beast, right, with the NATO, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, the Roman Catholic Church. So it's unclean, evil. But they are spirits of devils, man, deceivers, man, okay? Working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth today in the whole world, see, world war, to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahawah Almighty. See, we know this is going to happen. So is it going to happen? Is this World War III? But he said the end is not yet. Behold, I come as a thief, meaning unexpectedly, man. The Lord said he's going to show up when a time where ye look not for him. I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, man. So we're watching the prophecies, watching over ourselves, watching over the camps, watching over our households, and keeping our garments from being spotted from this world. Lest he walk naked. See, we don't want to walk naked. We want to walk and have a covering. Being naked meaning you're going to bear your own sins. And, meaning getting destroyed. But we want our sins, we want to be covered. All right, not walking naked. And they see his shame. Who was he ashamed? The angels. And the scoffers, they'll see you be confounded with the wicked. If we go to the world, turn back to the world. And he gathered them together into a place called, in the Hebrew tongue, Armageddon. All right, the gathering of troops, man. And the 7th angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done." There's the judgment going out. Sheesh. All right, so eventually the Lord is going to make his divisions here in Babylon. He's going to set the sheep to the right and the goats to the left. All right, that's what time we're coming up to. And he's going to use the MOTB and Esau's wickedness as part of that separation. And 2/3 of our people and their wickedness. All right. And there were voices and thunders and lightning. That's the judgment going out in the heavens. And it comes down here to the earth. And there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth. That's the missiles landing. So mighty an earthquake and so great. All right. So gonna be so many ICBMs hitting. It's gonna cause a giant earthquake on the earth. Cause the earth to reel to and fro. And that was the angels in heaven gonna say, "It is done. It's time." Revelation 7, they're not gonna hold back the winds of destruction anymore. The elect are sealed, and the Lord gonna make his separations in this place where we are in Babylon and upon the earth. And right, it says, and it was so great an earthquake, and the great city, Babylon, also called the US, was divided into 3 parts. All right, the 3 parts represent how the Lord going to do his separation with judgment. You're gonna have the sons of God, which are the elect. You're gonna have the sons of men, which are these nations that are here, and you're gonna have the wicked, which is Esau. All right, all the Karens and all that shit that's going on. Yeah, the Lord separate them. Is getting them to show their horns, and then also amongst the sons of God is going to be a separation. 2/3 are going to be cut off and left here to be destroyed with the wicked and with these heathens. All right. So the great city was divided into three parts. In the cities of the nations fell. So the cities of this place and around the world are going to fall, man. It's going to be a worldwide collapse, global collapse. And this place is going, all the cities in this place, your favorite cities that you like to go to and you've been hearing about, and the ghettos, all that shit, it's going to be shut down, destroyed. They're going to fall. And great, all right, so especially around the world, what's that called? The economic collapse. And the great Babylon came into remembrance before the Most High. You're going to say it's time, you know, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. Man, that's sheesh. All right, so that's what's coming. But this is the build up to it. All right, Revelation 8 and 13. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe. That's World War III. To the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpets of the three angels which are yet to sound. Here it comes. All right, so we're in that time. That's why the nations are getting involved. All right, so it's according to prophecy. Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past. That was World War One, 1914, 1918. That's how you know it's the Most High's will, his plan to build up these nations and build up his armory upon this earth through using man, to where he would control the smith that blow up the coals in the fire that would bring forth instruments for the Lord's anger upon this earth. And it took those world wars to build up those nuclear arms races, building up their modernizations of weaponry, et cetera, et cetera. All right, now the Lord is pushing people to whatever side they're going to be on. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. That's how you know everything that's happening is written. We live our lives as a tale that is told. All right, and this is the tale that's told, that the Lord is going to use World War III to bring judgment upon this earth, to make his separations and divisions amongst the people, and to deliver his elect. All right, so he's saying, hey man, these are the times we're supposed to be looking for salvation, getting closer to him, and building up our faith. All right, with that, I'm gonna say shalom, and look for these things to come to pass, man. All right, yo.